Welcome to the 245 podcast, which is the number of movies we are going to be talking about today. In the studio, we have me, your boy, Micah, got Joey Ritzma, we got Josh Cruz, and we got a guest. Well, first I should say, Josh is in the studio again, in person. Josh.
I'm in the timeout studio, but it's close enough.
But he's not on the phone with us, which is amazing. But more importantly, we love Josh, but we have another guest on the podcast. We have Eric Schumacher.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, how's it going? How's your day been?
It's been very busy. This is a busy time for us. Yeah, so it's very, very busy, but good.
It's good.
Oh, sorry. I psyched you out. Why was it a busy day? Like, why is this a busy time of year?
Oh, well, I'm in the retail industry now. For those of you who don't know me and my family, it's actually my wife's family. They own Letterman Sports. So today's broadcast is sponsored by Letterman Sports.
Let's go.
I think
we got our first sponsor.
Hold on. I think he's got to give us money.
Yeah,
to
I think
get
that's
a
how that
sponsor.
works.
Right?
I don't think the owners can just come on and say the episode's sponsored.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't negotiated my contract for being here yet. So
Oh,
that's the payment.
That's okay.
Got it.
That's a good point.
No, that's fair.
That is fair. Well, that'll work. This episode is sponsored by Letterman Sports.
nice.
Blaine and Plymouth.
for all your hockey needs.
Yeah.
Right on.
And other apparel.
Shirts. Epic Letterman shirts.
I got a pink Letterman shirt.
I got a red one for Target.
Oh, nice.
I was promised a burnt orange Letterman shirt my junior year of high school, but I never received it.
Well, you can file a
By me?
complaint right here.
No, Jalen.
Come on, Jalen. Slacking.
All good.
Well, anyways, we're excited to have you on. Today we are talking about our top 10 movies. So we each made a list of our top 10 movies, our top 10 favorite movies of our life. And we're going to talk about them today, but I think we should find out, like, why did we ask you to come on the podcast for this? Like, what makes you qualified to talk about movies? Like, why'd you want to be on this one?
Well, that's a great question. I don't know if I am qualified, but no, I did do a short stint in California with my wife Amy, and so some of you know this, some of you may not. We studied acting in Hollywood for a little while and wanted to pursue that acting dream for a few years in the mid '90s. So it was an amazing time. We learned a lot, and we love movies. We love watching and coaching and doing all kinds of things that have to do with acting.
So I've heard a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not, but that you may or may not be best friends with a Spider-Man actor. Is that true?
One of the Spider-Man. Yeah. No, I definitely not best friends. More like close acquaintances. We studied in the same acting class for a few years. So that would be the Tobey Maguire, the best Spider-Man, I have to say. I'm a little biased, but so yeah, we studied in an acting class together. For a couple of years there, and I got to do a scene with Tobey in acting class, which was super cool. He wasn't Spider-Man yet, but he actually booked that gig shortly after that. So
you could say you helped him prepare for that role.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I'd love to
Toby
say that.
Toby owes his success to you.
His
Yeah.
entire movie career.
We'll get him on the podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get him on the podcast
Yeah.
to talk about
Get us
that.
connected.
Yeah. No. So there was a few actors that studied in this class. It was a professional class, so it was super cool. Maybe it speaks to how good of an actor I am because I never made it. But it was very it was I remember being in LA and in this class with people who, and Toby had done movies at that time, and some of the other kids in the class had worked professionally, so that was neat. And I just remember thinking, how did a kid from Coon Rapids, Minnesota end up in this acting class here in LA, studying it with these people who have worked in the industry, and yeah, it was a surreal time, but it was so fun, and I loved I loved all of it.
So did you want to be an actor like when you were growing up?
No, so that's kind of the crazy story is I wasn't involved in theater at all as a kid. I didn't do shows growing up or in high school. I acted out a lot in school, so I think that was really my calling. I spent a lot of time outside of the classroom and detention or the principal's office, things like that. But yeah, so I guess you would have considered me the class clown back then, and I was always ready with a quick-witted joke. But my wife, actually, she was more in that industry because she was a dancer, and actually that's how we got to LA. She got a scholarship to a kind of a professional dance industry school, and so if I wanted to stay with Amy, I had to kind of uproot and move to LA. She wasn't moving back, and things were going well for her. And so that's how I got introduced to some people in the industry, into the industry, and it started with doing a commercial workshop, actually, which is what some people do. Like a lot of actors try to break into the business doing commercials at first. So, and I instantly fell in love with it. It fit me. It fit my personality. I loved it, and I just wanted more of it. I don't know, maybe. Just like attention, I guess, but
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started, and then through some acquaintances and friends, we were introduced to this professional acting class. The teacher's his name was David LeGrant, and he was amazing. He was old then, and he had been in the business for, at that point, I think it was like 70 years or something. He was in the business. But that's where, I got really hooked on to the bug of acting and doing serious acting and things like that. So that's kind of how it all started, and then the dream became just, alive pretty quickly for me. And we studied with David, actually, Amy and I both studied with him for almost 4 years, so that's how it came to be.
Yeah, and then you took a big break from acting until your debut in Avail Academy's production of Charlie's Aunt with Joey and I.
Yeah, JoJo.
He was the only thing that got me through that.
JoJo.
We always like to talk about Joey doing theater in the podcast. So. Yeah. How was that, be on stage with us two and just being in a high school show?
You know what? It was super fun. I had a blast doing it. I'll be honest with you. It was kind of a tough one to, because it was in a busy season, as I recall. It was in the fall.
It was like beginning of November, October.
Right. So it was about this time, and Lydia, the director, texted me. I was actually on a work trip, and she said, "Hey, would you be willing to do this role for Charlie's Aunt? Would you consider it?" And I said, "Well, I'm pretty busy. I don't know how big of a role is it?" And she says, "It's not that big.
It was pretty big.
It's medium." And I'm like, "Okay, well, send me the script and I'll read it." And so I read it on the plane. I was like, "Whoa, this is not medium at all." I think she was trying to make it sound, and like it wouldn't be that big, but it was so much fun. It was fun to work with you guys, and my daughter Kylie was in the show as well. So just to be on stage and I don't know, just to perform again, and in any way, shape, or form I love it. I love to be on stage. I feel very at home and comfortable there. So.
Well, that makes one of us.
I'd say two of us. I think Mike would fall into that boat too. But
that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say all that makes you much more qualified to talk about movies than the average person. So.
Yeah. Should we dive into it? I feel like this is gonna take a while.
So. Yeah, we gotta go for it.
So yeah, we're just gonna go through our list. We're gonna go starting from number 10, and then go up from there. We'll each say our number 10, and then talk about talk about that. So, who wants to kick it off?
Oh, jeez. I can start.
Joey,
I'll
you
start.
start.
I'll start. So, and just for all the listeners out there, this is our favorite movies. These are not our like the best movies of all time. Just to make that clear, because otherwise I would get roasted for my list.
I'm gonna get roasted anyway, but
That's true. That's true. Okay, number 10 for me is the Harry Potter movies. I can't pick one. I just lumped them all together.
What the? Okay, you're already cheating.
No.
Okay, so Joey's had his top 8 already because there are 8 Harry Potter.
Oh
movies.
yeah. So I just get 2 more. No, I probably should have thought about that more because I probably could pick one, but I read all the books, watched all the movies when I was like in middle school, early high school. And I really liked them, and I thought the movies were well done and they were really good based off the books.
Yeah. My favorite was the 4th one, The Goblet of Fire.
That was my favorite too. So
Why didn't you say that?
Fine. Number 10 is Harry Potter, Goblet of Fire. There you go.
All right. My number 10 is Cars.
Great movie. Great movie.
Cars.
Why do you like Cars, Mike?
I like Cars because that was on repeat when it came out when I was like 3 or 4 years old all the time. I had so many songs from that memorized, so much dialogue from that memorized. It's just a great movie. I always loved McQueen and Mater growing up and all that. So
Life is a Highway hits different.
Life is a Highway hits different.
it's a classic, Mike. Good choice.
Thank you.
Yep.
Ka-chow.
Yep.
Ciao.
Juice.
Kachiga.
Okay, my number 10 is How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh,
Yes. I love that movie.
That's a really good
that
movie.
is on my honorable mentions.
I
Yes,
just feel
me
like
too.
it's a really wholesome movie. It has like a pretty solid plot. The animation is good. It's creative, and I love the soundtrack. Still listen to the soundtrack as I do homework. So, yeah.
So far, we're going with a couple of animated movies here. Do you have any animated movies on yours, or are yours all?
Well, when we first talked about this, I literally texted myself about 50 movies, and then so in that, like, I think it's over 60 now, but and I'm guess I'm gonna date myself and being like the old guy here because like no, I don't have an animated movie either, but I bet you'll be surprised at some of the movies I do have on here. Toy Story was in the list of 60, so
Great movie.
but I don't have any animated movies, unfortunately, in my top 10. Now, I also have to preface this by saying I wasn't always a Christian, and so I've experienced a lot of movies, and there's a lot of really good movies. So some of the movies on my list, I would say you may want to watch the TV version of it. I think people, yeah.
Your discretion is advised.
Right. Actually, I think my top 10. So when I read my 60 really fast, there's definitely ones in there, but my top 10 is not.
Okay.
The first one might be though. My number 10 is Young Guns.
Young Guns.
Yes.
I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of
Okay,
that. You
there's-
talk about that one for a little bit.
Young Guns is a movie that it was out in I think the early 90s, late 80s, most likely late 80s. And it is a Western movie that was made. Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen, and there's a lot of great actors in it. So it is rated R, but it is an amazing movie. My buddies in high school, we all loved this movie, so it actually made my list. It is my number 10, Young Guns.
Yeah, it looks like it came out in 1988.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. 42% of Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it is by far Emilio Estevez, his best character ever. He plays Billy the Kid in it, so an actual, I think, person. Real life person, maybe.
Real
Billy
life.
the Kid. Yeah, but it's really, really good.
Okay. My number 9. Number 9, we're moving up.
Moving up.
Number 9, Thor Ragnarok.
Ooh.
That is my number 8.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Spoiler. Oh, you're
just giving that away.
Yeah.
Kind of ruined that. I thought that was one of the best Marvel movies. Good plot, good humor, good characters. What's the rock guy?
Korg.
Best character in Marvel. Hot take.
Korg is the best character in Marvel.
Best character.
Why?
That's a
Who's better?
Very hot.
That is
Who's
a
better?
very hot take.
Who's better?
Iron Man.
Lame. Not funny at all.
Not funny at all.
Nah, that's not true. He's pretty funny. But he's got nothing on, what's his name? Korg?
Joey's funniest character. He doesn't even know the
You
name.
can't
Wait.
remember the name of it.
Chris Pratt is pretty funny in the Marvel.
Yeah,
movies.
Guardians of the
That's
Galaxy.
true. That's true. But not as funny as this guy.
Korg.
Yeah.
Taika
Korg.
Waititi.
Yeah. There you go. That's
Joey,
what,
if you can remember his name once, maybe I'll believe you.
his name's Korg.
Okay, good job.
We just said it.
Thanks. Okay. Mike.
Well, I want to hear what you guys. What do you guys think of the newest Thor movie, Love and Thunder? How does that compare to Ragnarok? Because I think it does not compare.
Not even close.
No.
I think I watched it with like 6 other people and we rated it and the average rating was like 6.2 or something.
Oof.
It was pretty low. And that was right after we saw it. So like ratings go down.
I feel like they tried to make it funny, where Ragnarok just had
Yeah.
you know, it had a lot of humor in it, and they were just trying hard to make it funny
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah. The villain in Love and Thunder was pretty good though.
Yeah. What was his name?
I don't
even
remember
remember.
his
See.
name. It was
Not
It was
significant.
Christian Bale. Was
Yeah.
the actor,
I know it was
though.
Christian Bale.
Oh, yeah.
And that was really good.
He's
Those goats were so annoying.
the goats. I hated.
Yeah,
the
they were
goats.
like funny the first 2 times, and then after that, it was just annoying.
It was annoying.
Yeah, I forgot how many times I did it until I watched a compilation on YouTube of all the goat moments, and it was so many. And it was not good. My number 9 is Catch Me If You Can. It is Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio. Have any of you guys seen this one?
No.
No.
I've told you
I know I've
seen-
talked to you about this one. I'm surprised you haven't seen it, but it's really good. It's like it's a true story about a guy or like a teenager who has a lot of he gets around, leaves his house, and he becomes like a pilot illegally, like a fake pilot. He becomes like a fake doctor just to like make a bunch of money. And then there's one cop or like FBI agent who's played by Tom Hanks is looking for him and like going after him and stuff. So super
Interesting.
good. And just shows like how their chase goes on throughout the years and their relationship and stuff between the cop and the criminal.
Sounds interesting.
It is really good.
I will go next with my number 9, which I would doubt anyone has seen. It's called Going in Style. Anyone?
Nope.
No.
No.
Is it like a TV movie?
I don't know. Maybe. I watched it probably 1 or 2 years ago with my brother, and it's about 3 old men who are like retired and broke, and like the bank where they had all their money in like ran off with it or something. So they decide their only plan of action is to pull off this giant bank heist.
There we go.
So it's
There we
just
go. Okay.
wait, do you know it now?
No, I don't
No.
know, but the plot just got really interesting
Yeah,
Right.
really
Really
quickly.
The title sounded like it was going to be like a romantic comedy or something.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's really funny. So it's comedic, but no, it's these 3 old guys who like pull out this bank heist. I don't even remember a lot of the details. I just remember it was funny, and that's about what it takes for me to like a movie. So
It's Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, and Alan Arkin.
Oh,
yeah,
So,
good actors.
yeah,
three-
the 3
three
main
pretty-
actors were very good.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, my number 9 is, and you guys will probably be on board with this. I put this in here, I think, just for all you guys.
People pleaser. Let's go.
Dumb and Dumber.
Oh,
Ooh.
yes. Classic quotes from that.
yeah, there's some great quotes in
The
that.
best is the very end
movie.
with the bus.
Yeah, the bus.
I picked a lot of my movies based on if it's a rewatchable or not, and this one is by far on the tops of that list of if it's ever on TV, whenever you come across it, you always watch Dumb and Dumber.
Stop
It's
what you're
hysterical.
doing. Stop what you're doing and watch it.
Right. And I also picked a lot of my movies based on how many times I quote lines from
Oh,
them.
yeah.
And Dumb and Dumber is quoted quite often.
Have you seen the second one? The
I
second
did
time?
not see the second one, and I heard it was terrible.
Yeah.
I've not either, and I've also heard that. So I was curious if you had seen it.
Again,
What your opinion on that
you
was.
can't recreate that. I don't
No.
think.
It's just like all the chaos. It just makes it so funny.
Yeah, it's really
So
good.
good.
Okay, number 8. Moving on to 8 for me. A newer movie, Ford versus Ferrari.
Ooh,
Not seen it.
not seen it.
I want to though.
Very good movie. It's I don't want to explain the whole plot because otherwise, if we do that for every movie, this will go on for a while.
Brief synopsis.
It's basically like I forget the name of the race, but it's like it's in Europe. It's a a race that goes on like every year. Ferrari wins every year. And then Henry Ford's like, screw it. We're going to go build a supercar and we're going to go beat these guys.
Yeah.
And they try, and it's really interesting. And I really like it. There's some good actors in that movie too. So Christian Bale's in it.
Oh yeah, sounds like a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a story about that movie. It's kind of funny. My brother-in-law, his uncle owned one of the prototypes of the car that they made for that. And he told me the whole story about that. It's like a Ford GT something or other. And they only made 4 of them. Well, his uncle worked for Ford, and they had one in their plant somewhere on display, and they were just going to like get rid of it. And he ended up buying it. And that car, he sold it. He owned it for a few years when he was younger. And his was the only one of 4 that was in its original condition. All the other 3 they had done stuff to. But if you look it up now, it's like it auctions for like over $10 million.
No way.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And that was the car that was like in that movie, that design.
Crazy. Is he gonna sell it or?
He sold it. His
sold
uncle had already sold it, so
okay.
it's changed hands like I think 2 or 3 times since then.
Oh, I
and
see.
the last time it sold, I want to say for like $4 million or something dollars, and they said if it ever goes up again, it would be like $10 million.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that is insane.
It's a lot of money.
Well, like I said, my number 8 was Thor Ragnarok, which you already talked about.
Nice.
So,
Juice.
next.
My number 4 is Harry Potter Goblet of Fire, which we've already seen.
Wait, number 8?
Wait, we're on number 8, not 4.
Sorry, that's what I meant. My number 8 is Harry Potter Goblet of Fire.
Nice.
I think I was thinking it was the 4th movie.
Oh,
It is
Harry Potter.
it is the 4th movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, great movie.
Yep.
So I'm glad because I'm going to expose you guys to like a lot of good movies because you guys are all on the same page. It sounds like
Yeah.
Yep.
My number 8 is actually the movie that inspired me and actually Amy, my wife, to get into acting.
Oh.
And it's not like a super critically acclaimed film, but it's an amazing movie. So I recommend it to all of you out there. It's called With Honors, and it stars Brendan Fraser and Joe Pesci and a couple other great actors as well. But yeah, it's one of those movies that has everything in it: comedy, drama, and it's a tearjerker. So yeah, super good movie.
What about it made you want to go into acting?
So my wife and I, after we had seen this movie, we were so moved at how these actors could make us feel the way we were feeling after seeing the movie. And we both kind of had the same feeling about it, like that we wanted to be able to do that, we thought it would be so cool to, one, we were just amazed at how they're able to do that. Like they're playing characters. They're not who they, are in real life. And yet you believed everything they were doing. And they made you feel a certain way. And that's what we want. We were like, oh, could you imagine if we could do that? Like, and it inspired us to kind of start that, ball rolling of looking into acting classes and things like that. So yeah, With Honors. If you want a snippet, it's just Brendan Fraser plays a college student, and he's a student at Harvard, and so it's all these kids who are fairly well off going to Harvard, and through a set of circumstances, he meets Joe Pesci, who is a homeless man, and they end up forming this friendship that really you just you would not expect, so and then there's all kinds of things that happen. So yeah, definitely recommend seeing that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to write movies down throughout this
Yeah,
podcast.
I'm keeping
today.
a list of things that
I
sound
want to see
interesting.
if that one sounds really good. I haven't seen Brendan Fraser in a lot, but I've definitely heard of him
Yeah,
before.
he was in the Mummy movies. A lot of people know him from
I haven't
that.
seen that.
Oh, those are good too.
Yeah.
They're not on my list, but
Yeah, I might have to give that one a watch. Okay, so for me, number 7, an interesting movie, A Few Good Men.
Oh, I told you he would react like
Yeah,
that.
I was watching him the whole time as I read that.
Because you watched
Or-
like 5 minutes of it at our house. That
No,
one time?
no, I've watched the full thing
Yeah.
before, but that's like one of the only movies where there's not like a ton of action or anything, but you're still just like so drawn in to the story.
Riveted.
Yeah, and there's some really iconic lines in it, like during the court case and stuff. It was really good. I liked.
It is too low on your list. I will tell
Oh,
you that.
really? Oh, yeah, yeah. You're probably not gonna like some of the movies I have above it, but
yeah,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, but yeah, my number 7 is A Few Good Men.
yeah. I've only seen the bit we watched at your house that one time at the
Same.
cast party. So
I know. I
need to
there
watch
for
the whole
that,
thing
and that's all I've seen.
because it seems really good.
I quote that movie more than any other movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You
all
say
the
this about
time.
all the time. What's the one most famous one?
you can't handle the truth.
Right, yep.
Yeah. That's the Jack Nicholson line that most people quote when they.
Yep.
But Tom Cruise is. I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan. I've been for a very long time, and that movie is one of his best.
And it's unlike a lot of things he does. Like usually he's
Right.
running around, jumping from helicopters and holding onto planes and all this stuff. So seeing him in a non-action movie like that was,
Right.
I mean, just the bit I saw was kind of cool.
And there's so many good actors in that one.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, Kevin Bacon, Demi Moore, and Kevin Pollak. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson.
I need to watch
JT
that.
Walsh. JT Walsh, people don't know him. He's Colonel Marginson in the movie. He was actually a customer at the Costco I worked at in LA.
Oh,
Going back to-
wow.
Nice.
Yeah. JT Walsh. He's
Another
amazing.
claim to fame.
Yep. He passed away.
Oh.
Yep.
All right. My number 7 is Back to the Future. I think I would have to go with the second one for my favorite of the 3, but I really like all 3 of them, especially the first 2. But I don't know. I've always been a big Back to the Future fan since I saw them. They're very rewatchable in my opinion, for me at least. I always watch them if I can every couple of years. So they're just super fun. Just the characters are funny, and the way that some of the characters play multiple characters, like their younger selves or the sister of themselves or something. So it's just funny. And just the whole time travel. Like time travel is ridiculous. Like in any movie, it never makes sense. But it's just fun. And the way they did it in that movie.
My number 7 is Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes.
Which
That's a classic.
yeah, I just like it a lot. I watched it probably a few years ago with my family the first time, and then I rewatched it with some college friends this year. And yeah, I had forgotten a lot, but it's just very funny, and I enjoy Robin Williams a lot. So
Yeah.
That's
Really?
awesome. See, I'm impressed with you guys because these are movies of like my era, my generation. Like when I was your age, I was going to see Back to the Future like in the theaters,
Yeah.
and two is really good.
Yeah. And they go to 2015, so it's funny to see.
yeah,
What
that
they
we're past
thought.
that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember like the actual October 21st, 2015, like everyone posting about it's Back to the Future Day. Like this is the day they came to the
Yeah,
future.
they were like talking about what they got right
Yeah.
in the future, like what
Yeah.
we have now. Yeah.
But we don't have hoverboards or hover cars or other stuff.
They
But
were super close to getting like the Cubs winning the World Series. Wasn't
Yeah.
that like 1 year off or something?
It was
Or-
pretty close, I think.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, what are we on? 7? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Yep.
7.
Okay, so my number 7. Again, watch the TV version maybe for you young folks. Is Shooter.
Oh, I've seen that.
You have? Okay.
Yeah, it's the one with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah,
right?
Mark Wahlberg.
That's a good movie.
It's so good. And I had to get a Mark Wahlberg movie on here because I do love him. A lot of people would say Lone Survivor is probably like his best, but he's done a lot of good things. But for me, Shooter is whenever that's on TV, I literally stop and just get enthralled with Shooter. That's a good movie.
Yeah. I feel like Mark Wahlberg's been in some random movies. Like he does a lot of different stuff. I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like. Yeah. It's all over.
Okay, moving on. Number 6. Number 6 for me is this is very important. It's the Batman. So it's the new Batman movie that came out.
Robert Pattinson.
Yes. Which it was fun to watch how his Batman was different from other ones in the past. But I actually really like that movie, and that's one I've rewatched before and still really like it.
Have you seen that one?
I have not seen that one. I've seen, obviously, the Michael Keaton ones started it off. Those were like almost cartoony now when you go back and watch them. And then I think Christian Bale's version of The Dark Knight would be my favorite, I guess. Not the George Clooney one. I bet you didn't know he did it.
He did it. Batman. I could not imagine George Clooney as Batman.
Clooney was Batman. And Val Kilmer was Batman.
That I can see more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many Batmans. Well, my number 6 is called UHF, which, wait, did I watch it with Joey and Mike?
No, it was me and Mitch.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that.
So, Joey, you haven't seen it yet?
No, I've not.
Okay, we're
seen
going to watch it with you.
Oh, let's go.
Have you seen UHF?
I have not.
Do you know what it is?
I don't even know what that is.
It's awful. It's a really terrible movie, but it's hilarious, and I love it for it. It was, I think, the main character is Weird Al Yankovic, like the parody guy. And I think it was like his idea. He directed the whole thing. But it's kind of it's a parody on a lot of things in real life, but they're just really funny random parts. It's overall like really poorly made and not a good story, but it's hilarious. So
But it's on your top 10.
that's why it's on my list. It's like so ironically like bad that it's good for me, at least.
Yeah.
Like I said, funny is kind of the reason I like movies mainly. So
Yeah. And you've rewatched it a couple times.
I've seen it like 4 times.
I would maybe watch it one more time. Well,
with Joey.
with Joey. We'll watch
Yep.
it.
That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
We'll find a time to do that.
Micah, did you do your?
No, I did not. I was skipped over by Josh.
Well, if we want to keep the same order, I can let you go.
Oh,
Joey
it's
was
okay.
just looking at me.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh.
That was my
Joey,
fault.
come on.
I looked at Josh.
My number 6 is Mission Impossible Fallout,
Ooh.
which is the latest one.
Haven't seen it.
Definitely the best Mission Impossible movie. I've seen all of them. You've not seen that one, Joey?
I haven't seen any of them.
Whoa.
And I really need to watch
Yeah.
those at some point.
Great movie. It has it's Tom Cruise, obviously, and then Henry Cavill, who played Superman.
Oh, yeah, Superman.
He's the villain.
Oh, yeah.
He's super good. Black Panther's mom, that lady, I don't know her name, but she's in it. A couple other really good actors. So overall, just like really good. The story's really good. The ending, like the tension and the yeah, he's really just sitting on the edge of your seat at the end of the movie for sure. Like it's crazy. And I love the interactions between Ethan Hunt and the 2 other guys he works with.
Yeah.
What's the more nerdy one's name? He's played by,
I don't know who the actor is.
I don't know who it is, but
yeah, I like him too.
I just
Yeah,
love
yeah.
those 2 guys. So that is my number 6.
All right, my number 6 is the movie that Micah has not yet seen. I know for a fact. It's called The Martian.
I knew it.
I've actually seen that.
That movie is amazing.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
to watch it. You've been saying that for the last like 2 years that we need to watch that.
It's a really good movie. Have you seen it?
No, I have not seen it, no.
Okay.
That's
well,
so
good.
impressive
See,
that I've seen one that you 2 haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Josh, did you like The Martian?
I did like it. I
Oh.
think when I saw it, I was a little too young that some of it I didn't like
Oh,
because that was like probably 4 or 5 years ago now. But
okay.
I think it was really well made and like,
Oh,
yeah, definitely a good story.
super good movie.
It's your classic, like he's like left in space
Yeah.
by himself and he's trying to survive.
Yeah, and, there's a ton of amazing actors in that one too. But Jeff Daniels from Dumb and Dumber, you want to see some guy, in a different role.
Yeah.
He's incredible in it, and yeah, and Matt Damon, yeah, good movie.
When did that movie come out?
Sure.
It's not like super recent, but it's fairly recent. I think it came out. I would say like 2015ish. 2015. There we go. I nailed it.
Nice, Mike.
Thanks.
There you go, The Martian. You got to see it.
Got to see it.
Oh, and Sebastian Stan's in it too.
Yeah, and Glover, that kid's what's his first name?
Oh, and the guy from Ant-Man too.
ton of people.
Donald Glover.
Oh, Donald Glover.
He's awesome in it. He's the guy who figures it out. And Kristen Wiig,
Oh yeah.
she's like another comedian. Like she's not funny in this at all. Like these are. It's neat to see like these kind of comedic actors play serious roles.
Oh, interesting.
Do you think, from a actor standpoint, do you think it's easier for comedians who usually do comedic movies to act in a drama than it is for people who usually do dramas to act in a comedy?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Because I thought you watched The Patient, right?
Yes.
Because I thought of this when I watched The Patient with Steve Carell,
I haven't seen it all, but yes.
who mostly does, who I've only seen in comedic stuff. He does a
Right.
super serious, absolutely no comedy in this TV show at all.
I don't want to say. I guess I don't know. Comedy is hard. I
Yeah.
will say that. Like, I think it's easier to play dramatic roles unless you're, called to cry. That can get difficult.
You just get the stuff that you put into your eyes and it makes you cry.
Yeah. So I feel like it would be easier for a comedian to play a more dramatic role, but that's a great question.
Yeah, because Steve Carell's level of comedy he's just so talented at it. I feel like him playing someone dramatic would be almost easier.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So if you're an actor that has switched from comedy to drama, send us an email
Yeah.
and let us know.
2.4.5.podcast@gmail.com. Let us know.
I'm sure there's tons of people out there like that.
Yeah. We got 1% of listeners in California. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Nice.
probably a famous Hollywood actor who switched from.
It's probably Tobey
comedy
Maguire,
to-
honestly.
Yeah, it's probably Toby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. We've done it. Top 5 now.
Ooh.
This is where the
Getting-
rubber meets the road. No bad movies. Okay? Number 5. Cars. Cars is a great movie.
You had it on your list?
I did have it on my list.
He
That
had
was-
it at 5.
That was a huge movie in my childhood. It's one of the few movies I could watch over and over and over again. But it's like a good life lesson. Like, don't be arrogant. Don't think about yourself. Care about other people. It's really a Christian movie if you think about it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Honestly.
It's a Christian message.
I grew up in a generation where I don't think our parents knew what we were watching. So like I watched like Conan the Barbarian when I was a kid. And it is like, yeah, gruesome.
Well, Cars is not gruesome,
Yeah.
so
So
good
funny.
for kids to watch.
Yep. Yeah, I love that. That was my number 10. Yeah.
Yep.
Cars
Number
2,
Not as good.
not as good. I think Cars 2 gets way more hate than it deserves. I'm going to say I loved Cars 2 when it came out. Looking back, it doesn't really
Yeah.
fit in with Cars 1, but it's still like a great
Yeah, that's
Like-
true.
Cars with spies. Like, that's epic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was good. My number 5 is Avengers Endgame, the latest Avengers movie.
I was wondering when that was going to pop out.
3 hours long. Was my favorite movie when it came out. It's not my favorite anymore. Obviously, you can see it's bumped down a little bit. But that is, I don't know, it just has like every Marvel character in it that they introduced in the MCU, and it's so awesome. Especially the last 45 minutes with the whole big battle. I don't know. Do you guys like that movie?
I don't know.
I do. I feel like it gets too long.
Mhm.
I enjoy movies that are more like 2 hours ish. But yeah, that end part, I remember seeing it. Was that the one we watched at my house with us 3?
Yeah, that was the first time I was ever invited to something,
Yes.
which we talked about a few episodes ago.
Junior year episode.
Junior year.
But yeah, no, I like that movie a lot.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Joey, what were you going to say?
I don't know. Whenever I watch Marvel movies now, I just think of like the new Marvel stuff, and I feel like it drags down the old Marvel stuff. Like I just can't enjoy it as much. But I remember when it came out, it was like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah, and Infinity War too.
Yep, that's true. Both of those were pretty good. I need to watch those again.
Pretty much Tobey's Spider-Man started all of this, Marvel
Yep.
craze.
And
that
you
it is,
inspired
so-
him, so you're the reason that Marvel exists.
No. And I did contemplate putting Spider-Man on my list. It didn't make it. Sorry, Toby, but
You guys will talk about it over lunch
it's
sometime.
in my It's in my list of 60.
Your
plus
honorable
movies.
mentions,
Yes.
your long list.
Do we want to hear the long list at this halfway point?
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a good idea, Josh. Take a little break.
It
Run
may
through-
be a little bit of a spoiler though. Like,
I mean, we'd still have to guess which ones are your top 5.
Yeah, that's true.
In no particular order.
in no particular
Your 60
order.
movies.
Okay. So really quick, it's 60. I think maybe 60 plus movies. Are you ready?
I'm
I'm
ready.
ready. Buckled in.
The Karate Kid, the original.
Oh, that's a good one.
The Untouchables, JFK, El Camino, In the Line of Fire, Hacksaw Ridge, Fury, Sling Blade, Toy Story. There's your
go.
picture. Renaissance Man, The Big Short, The Negotiator, The Princess Bride. You guys know that one.
Solid movie.
Now You See Me,
Good
The
movie.
Revenant, School of Rock, Beverly Hills Cop, Titanic, Apollo 13, The Accountant, Office Space, Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, Tommy Boy. Maybe you've seen that one? Maybe
I've
not.
seen
I've
Tommy
seen
Boy.
it. I've
yeah.
seen it.
Beautiful Girls. Probably haven't seen that one. The Fugitive, Moneyball, White Christmas, Knives Out, American Sniper,
Ooh.
Enemy of the State, The Rock, Four Christmases, Game Night, Saving Private Ryan, The Matrix, Die Hard, Young Guns 1 and 2, Fargo, The Usual Suspects, Argo, Dumb and Dumber, National Treasure,
Yes.
Gone in 60 Seconds,
Ooh.
The Sandlot, The Passion of the Christ, Bad Boys 2, Jack Reacher, Top Gun Maverick, The Natural, High School Musical, The Greatest Showman, The Bourne Identity, The Count of Monte Cristo, Frequency, Goodfellas, With Honors, Shooter, Ocean's 11, My Cousin Vinny, The Martian, Spider-Man, Italian Job, The Shawshank Redemption, A Few Good Men, and Good Will Hunting.
Wow.
Wow, that is a list right there.
I was just reminded of so many good
Yeah.
movies.
I mean-
I counted. I have seen 17 of those
Wow.
out of 60. Yeah.
So you got some movie watching to do. Now,
Yeah.
I will also say this. When you asked me to come on here and my wife
I told him about this.
said, okay, I'm a little nervous about you going on this show. And as I said at the beginning, I wasn't always a Christian. So I have to mention pretty much anything Tarantino has made is really good. So, but there's a lot of that stuff that I know a lot of our listening audience probably can't watch. So you have to look for TV versions of all those. Yeah, and then there's some very funny movies that people have made that,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
sorry, Amy, that I had to throw that in there. But even in that list of like 60 some movies, there's definitely
Yeah.
some that ask your parents if you're
yeah.
Looking at you, Avail high schoolers.
Exactly.
Some notable ones you said that I really like in there. Fugitive,
Yes.
great movie with Han Solo,
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford,
If you haven't seen that one, that is a must watch.
and Frequency. Great
so
movie.
good.
Wait, that's also Harrison Ford, right? Wait,
No, Frequency is Jim Caviezel and Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid. I was
Yeah.
getting Dennis Quaid and Harrison Ford mixed up, but
That's absolutely a movie you guys can watch.
Joey and Josh, those two you should watch.
What was it? Frequency?
Frequency and The Fugitive, both very good. There's some other ones on your list too that I really like.
There
but-
was one that when you said it, I was like, oh, I love that movie, and immediately forgot it. So
You'll have to go
need
back and listen.
I'll re-listen to the list.
Yeah, great ones on there. Did we get through all of our 5?
Nope.
I think Josh is up.
Yeah. My 5 is also Marvel's Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Ooh,
I think I half like it because it was just a fun time when I went to watch it because I was with a bunch of friends and we went to a theater. Mike was there. I think you were both there. Yeah.
no, wait.
I don't know.
When is this?
I think it was like the first one we watched when we were going to go to the drive-in movie theater.
Oh, I wasn't part of that.
Oh.
That was before I was part of the squad.
It was just Joey.
Yeah.
Oh, I was there for that?
Yeah, you definitely were.
Oh, okay.
Um,
yeah, I was there for that.
Yeah, I remember. So it was fun just because it was a fun time going to watch it, but I also really enjoyed the plot to that one. And like there were some twists that you didn't see coming. So yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. All three of the Tom Holland Spider-Mans are pretty good.
Yep. They're good movies.
Just not as good as the Maguire ones.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Don't leave, Toby. Keep listening.
Yep. We want you. Text us. All right.
I'm up.
You are up.
All
Number
right.
5.
Another Matt Damon movie. The Martian was my 6. This movie is so good. It is a must see, but again, I believe rated R. It's called Good Will Hunting.
I've heard of this one.
Okay.
Not seen it.
So Matt Damon and Ben Affleck actually wrote this movie when they were younger, and they both star in it. And this was in my days of living in LA and studying acting. And they won the Golden Globe for Best Picture, I think, that year. It is such a good movie. It really is. And I'm sure there's, TV versions of it, even though it's rated R. It's mostly for language. So Matt Damon, he plays this young kid in Boston, and he's friends with Ben Affleck, and they're real rough around the edges, construction workers, like they're laying brick. But Matt Damon's character is actually a super genius. Like he just knows, and it's all math. Like he's like this math genius, and it's not from like schooling or learning. And so it's all about kind of his story, where he's actually a janitor at a local college, and this math like professor puts this problem on the chalkboard outside the classroom, and like wants his students to try to solve it, and nobody's ever been able to solve it. And Matt Damon is like mopping the floor, and he just like solves it like overnight. And so this professor is like, can't believe, like, I don't know how he ends up meeting him, but he ends up finding out who solved the equation or whatever it is. And so then he wants to like take him in and kind of learn and teach him math and stuff. But Matt Damon's character like really wants nothing to do with that. And then Robin Williams plays a therapist because of Matt Damon's past. He wants to help him to kind of get over some stuff from his past, and so that he'll be able to do this math with this professor. It may sound boring the way I'm describing it, but it is unbelievable. It's so cool. Just, yeah.
I believe it.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's one of those movies that I think is well liked by a lot of people. Like
Oh,
when
yeah.
you look at
Yeah.
lists of like some of the best movies of all time, Good Will Hunting is one that
Yeah.
usually comes up.
Yeah, one of those classics.
Right. And it actually won some awards. So a lot of I think our movies that we're talking about aren't like critically acclaimed. This one was for sure.
Yep. Okay, number 4 for me, interesting movie, but it's my list, so I get to pick what I want. Is actually Planes, the movie Planes, the
Let's
Disney
go.
movie. Yeah.
So wait, like cars but planes?
Yeah.
The animated planes.
Okay.
The animated planes.
Number 4 on his list.
Yeah, that's one of the, I could watch that movie so much, because I just wanted to be a pilot. So, I still got that love, but I love Jesus more. So I'm being a pastor, but loved Planes. Great movie.
It's a good movie.
It is
but
a good movie.
I don't know if it's deserved the number 4 spot. But
Well, it's my list, Mike,
true.
so leave me alone.
it's your list.
Of all the Pixar movies, like The Incredibles.
Yeah, I'm taking Planes. Yeah.
You're still going.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Up? Did you see Up?
Up is a good movie. Good movie. But
Yeah.
I like Planes
All right.
more.
My number 4, just a little bit better than Planes. The Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, yeah.
That's such a good movie to follow mine.
So good. I just watched it for the first time a few months ago. It was just really good. I don't know. It was just very intriguing, and the plot was interesting. And I love Morgan Freeman, of course. So good as usual. But yeah, great movie.
All right, my number 4 is Top Gun Maverick.
There we go.
There we go. Now that's number 4.
I hadn't seen it up until probably about a month ago, and then they showed it at college, and that was the first time I had a chance to watch it, and it was very good.
Had
Yeah.
you seen the first one?
Yes, I had.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to.
You have
Yeah,
to see the
oh,
first
yeah.
You
one
have to have seen the
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely gives the context you need to
Yes.
enjoy the
Right.
second one.
to enjoy
That
the
was in my
tension.
long list of movies. I think you did
Yeah.
hear that.
It
Yep,
was.
I heard it.
Yeah, I mean it's basically Planes.
It basically Planes, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
Planes was the OG one though.
Planes
Well,
came first.
I think
Top
the
Gun
original
Maverick
Top
just
Gun.
copied.
Yeah, but they based Maverick off of Planes, not the first Top Gun. I don't know if you guys got that memo or not,
okay.
but that's what they use.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
All right. Well, my next one will be very quick because it is also Micah's The Shawshank Redemption.
Nice.
Twins.
I need to see that movie because that one's like a lot of people
you
think
haven't
it's like
seen that
top
yet?
3
It's
movies
like
of all
top 3.
time.
Yeah.
Yep. It should be on most people's top 10 list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
We'll have to watch it sometime.
What is it about?
So, well, I don't want to spoil
Yeah,
it, but
don't
it's about a guy who he's a banker, super smart. He's played by Timothy Robbins, and at the very beginning of the movie, his wife is cheating on him, and he's basically going to kill her, and so he does and kills the guy that she's cheating on him with, and he ends up in prison in Shawshank with Morgan Freeman. And
He's been there for a long time. Morgan Freeman. At this
yes,
point.
yeah. Morgan Freeman is in prison for life for murder as well. And but Timothy Robbins claims he did not do this and that he's innocent. And so it's just all about his time in prison and being a rich, wealthy banker, not really fitting in prison life, and so it's just about his story and going through that, and Morgan Freeman befriends him at some point in the movie, and it's about their relationship, and so it's I don't want to give any else, give it away, but not really sure when it takes place. It's old. It's like I don't know,
Yeah, I don't know.
19 maybe 20 or something like
Something like that.
Yeah, that's one I definitely got to watch. Okay, top 3, right?
Ooh, 3.
Man.
Top 3.
Top 3.
Let's
Okay,
go.
number 3 for me is the new Robin Hood movie, newer. It came out like 2 or 3 years ago, but I rewatched that one recently, and I love the plot of Robin Hood. Don't steal, kids. Don't steal. It's never okay, but it's kind of cool to watch somebody else steal from the rich to give the poor, and like him battling all the corruption that was going on in that movie. I just found that movie very, very entertaining.
I did not see that. Who plays Robin Hood in that one?
I do not know.
Taron Egerton.
Oh,
And Jamie
And
Foxx
Jamie Foxx.
is in it.
Jamie Foxx.
Yep.
I do like him.
Yep.
It looks like a more modern Robin Hood. Is it, or is it still take place in the old?
No,
older
it
days?
does take place in like old
Okay.
England. Yeah.
It just looks more modern, but I guess it's not.
Yeah, it's just a newer movie. It came out in what, 2018?
Yep.
Yep.
Doesn't even know the main actor of his movie.
Nope.
All right. Mike, you're next.
Yeah.
I'm not going to steal your spot again.
My number 3 is Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Oh, already been mentioned.
That was Far From Home.
Oh, Far From.
This is No Way Home.
Yours is the new one, right?
This is the newest one with all 3.
With Toby.
With Toby.
Okay, I'll get on board with that.
And Andrew Maguire.
Yeah.
Not Andrew Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland. So I like that one just because it had all 3 of them, and just had like all the old villains. Willem Dafoe was maybe my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
He was scary good, and just he was like even scarier than he was in the original ones. So just like when Spider-Man is punching him, he's just laughing like I don't know.
like
Maniacally.
Maniacally.
there we go.
Big word of the day.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So very good. I liked it.
All right. My number 3 is RV.
I have not seen this one.
RV's a great
That's so
movie.
sad. I've seen it probably 3 times. Another Robin Williams funny one. I rewatched it this year, and there are so many times where they just draw these really cringy and awkward funny parts out for about 4 times as long as like you normally would, and it just makes it so funny. But yeah, I like it a lot.
There you go. See Robin Williams, and he's in Good Will Hunting, and that's in a very serious role.
Yep.
In that
Comedian going to a serious
Yes.
role again.
Have you seen RV?
I have not seen RV. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's worth the watch.
It's one I remember always seeing in the end cap at like Target and Cub, just sitting there with the DVDs, but I've never seen it anywhere.
I don't know. Once you've seen Dumb and Dumber, it's hard to watch any of those movies.
That's
and
true.
Be entertained.
Dumb and Dumber is just far superior over all
Maybe
these.
Napoleon Dynamite.
I've not seen that.
I actually didn't like that one.
I know you're weird.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
Why didn't you like it, Joey?
The humor was like too dry for
We
me. I,
we
like,
talked
didn't
about this.
get
You
it.
need to go back and
I
watch
thought
it.
it was
true.
hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
See, I must have just been off that day.
Uncle Rico.
Yeah, I've not seen
I
it.
didn't even finish watching it. That was one of the only movies in my life I've stopped watching. We
No
watched
way.
like 3/4 of it and was like, I can't take anymore. And I shut off the TV.
Wow.
All right.
That's kind of crazy. It seemed like a movie that like
I
you
should
would
like. That's what it doesn't make sense. I should like it, but I don't. So I'll watch it. You got to give it another chance.
All right. Yeah, you do. You
Yep.
do. It's not in my top 10 though.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3, and my entire family is going to agree with this. I contemplated putting this as my number 1,
Whoa.
but
Big.
you'll know why I didn't when I get to number 1. Is The Greatest Showman.
Oh,
Wow.
Yes.
That's a
great.
good movie.
Yep.
It's
It's
a good
so
movie.
good.
Yep.
I love musicals. My family is obviously musically, not me, but my daughters.
Yeah, you are.
No.
I've heard you practice for the little kids' church.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And
You
I
sound
can-
good.
I can sing?
Yeah,
Okay.
you do.
But yeah, that movie, I think we saw it in the theater like 3 times, and Hugh Jackman,
So good.
it was brilliant.
I don't think I saw it in theaters, and I really wish I had.
I
because
did.
It seems like it'd be really good in theaters.
The whole story, the music in it is amazing.
Oh,
we
yeah.
listen to
Yeah.
it all the time, and
I still listen to it sometimes.
yeah.
Me and Josh did a song from that for karaoke at a Vail Christmas party a few years ago
Oh yes,
When we were-
classic.
when we were juniors. That was fun.
My honorable mention there for musicals would be High School Musical, the Disney.
Yeah, that was one I was going to ask you about. I forgot. Why do you like High School Musical so much?
Oh my gosh, like I said, we're a musical family, and I have 2 daughters, as you know, and when they
Yeah,
were
Mike would know.
when they were younger, yep. When that movie came out, it was it was like constantly playing in our house, and I thought it was so cool that they made musicals cool. Like-
Oh, yeah.
You got the athlete Zac Efron playing basketball, and it kind of defied that whole like, if you're a jock you can't do theater, and
Yeah.
and I think that's why I related so much to it, because I not that I was like a super jock, but I love sports. I played sports growing up, and then got involved in the theater, and I love that. Like, and I just that movie and the music. It's kind of funny. I'm maybe a dork that way, but
And you got Zac Efron in both of those.
right,
Greatest Showman
exactly.
and High School Musical.
Yeah, so I just think The Greatest Showman is a much better movie.
Oh,
like,
yeah, for sure.
In
sure.
relation to.
Yeah.
I didn't see High School Musical until a couple of years ago. So we never had Disney Channel in my house growing up. We never had cable. We never had Nickelodeon Universe or any of that. And I never watched them until a couple of years ago. I was like, and I only watched them because I felt like I needed to, because it's like a movie everyone has seen.
Right.
Like every kid like my age had seen growing up. So I was like, maybe I should watch these. So I did on Disney Plus when I got that. And they're pretty good.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. Cheesy at times.
Yeah, I watched
But-
them all this summer after senior year and loved them.
Yeah. They're just funny.
Yeah,
They're fun. I love Zac Efron too.
Yeah.
he's
Because
good.
with the flow.
Talented man.
Yeah.
Talented.
He actually doesn't sing in the first one.
No,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Right, yeah.
But then I think he does.
He does later.
Yeah.
It's funny. And then he sings in Greatest Showman, of course.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember hearing jokes about how they should have hired the guy who sung for him in High School Musical to sing for him in Greatest Showman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kid ended up doing like a musical movie for Disney.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I can't remember what it was called. Kylie would probably remember.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, nice. Okay, top 2 movies. Number 2 for me, Top Gun Maverick. Number
so
2.
good.
Loved it. I thought it was a wonderful job of like building off the first one, but like being different enough that they were not just like copying it.
And it was a lot better than the first one too.
Yes.
The first one was amazing,
The
but
first one, yeah. The first one was really good. Maverick was insanely good.
yeah.
That's why it's number 2. And that movie I think I watched it like 4 times within the first 3 weeks it came out or something like that. And I would watch it right now if we wanted to.
It was funny. We watched it with a couple of our guy friends in September, and we watched it. It was in Sam's room, and we finished the movie, and we were like, we should just watch it again. So we started
queued
it.
it up
We
again.
started it over, like just as a joke, and then we legitimately watched the first 20 minutes of it again, and then we were like, maybe we should go to bed because it was a
late.
school night or something. And it was like 12:30. We're like, yeah, we're not actually gonna watch this whole thing, but we watched the first 20 minutes again. It's just so good. Like,
So did you any of you see it in the theater?
yes,
Watched it twice.
twice in theaters.
Yeah.
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 You got to see it in the theater.
Oh yeah.
Feel the planes flying by.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hot take about the original Top Gun. That
Okay.
the original Top Gun is a little overrated. That's my hot take.
I agree with that.
I would disagree just because of when it was made. You got to think about
That's
how
true.
many decades ago that was made. I think it came out in 1987,
Yeah, around there.
around there. So, yeah, for what that was at that time, that was pretty cool.
True. Kind of like how Avatar is overrated, and that was like the biggest movie of all time when it came out in
Yes.
2010.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
that didn't even make my top 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. Titanic was a much better
I don't know.
big movie.
Yeah.
One thing I really didn't like was the love story in Top Gun, the first
The original one?
I thought it was just so cringe.
That's not what I was thinking of when I said it was overrated, but that is true.
That's something that comes to
That is
my
true.
mind. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess it makes sense if that movie
Yeah.
came out a
Yeah.
long time ago.
I think I'm just looking at it from the perspective that Top Gun Maverick is like so insanely good compared to the first one that like
Right.
the first one just seems like just overrated.
But you have to see it.
But
You
have
got
to
to see it
Yeah.
to know.
It's very important. So, yes, my number 2. This was my number 1 for a long time. Well, since it came out, not a long time. It's not that old of a movie. My number 2 is Knives Out.
It's a good one.
I've never been really into like the mystery movies or the detective movies, but this one was different. Just the plot twists and like the way they set it up differently is where you find out what happens earlier on.
Right?
It was just like insane, and yet still there are things you didn't know throughout the movie, and just trying to still figure stuff out, even though you knew it happened, but you didn't really know it happened. They tricked you into thinking that you knew it happened. But
Right.
it was just so good. I've watched it many times. I need to watch it again. It's been a little bit, but just the dynamics between all of the family too is really funny. They have some really good actors in there: Chris Evans, Jamie Lee Curtis, bunch of
Don
really,
Johnson.
yeah, a bunch of really awesome guys and girls. That is the dynamics between them is so funny, and just the way their family is set up. So that is my number 2 movie, and they're making another one. It's coming out
Yes.
in a month.
What is it called?
It's called Glass Onion.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
So same detective, all new cast. Dave Bautista is in it. He is in Guardians of the Galaxy,
Oh,
as
yeah.
well as a bunch of other pretty famous actors.
We should go see that one in theaters.
Yes.
We should do that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people. Josh, you like that movie, right? Knives Out.
Yeah, it's actually my number 2 as well.
Oh my
Nice.
goodness!
Wow.
Flawless transition by Joey. You're
No
welcome.
way.
Yeah, good segue. Yeah, we just talked about it, but I also really enjoyed the way that movie was set up, and just kind of my mind trying to follow along with what was happening was really fun.
We have a picture of Joey when we watched that at your house, Josh, with you guys because I had seen it already.
Yeah, and I had too.
Oh yeah, we had both seen it.
I think
were
we
like,
had all seen it except Joey.
and we were like, Joey, you have to watch this movie. And at the climax, at the end, Joey, he was on one of those like gamer chairs that are on the ground, and he was sitting on top of like the top of the chair. Because he was like so on the edge of his seat, like what just happened?
Literally
like,
on the edge of his
on the
seat.
Yeah,
top
it was
edge of the top of his
I
seat.
just remember my mind just being absolutely blown and me being like, this is such a good movie.
Yeah.
I love the emotional roller coaster that it is.
Yeah. And I've heard that Glass Onion is just as good
Really?
from people who've seen it already.
I'm
like
so excited.
so I'm
Let's go.
really excited.
It's not
Yeah.
out yet, though.
It's not out. It's like people who like that are shown the movie beforehand to get like ratings and stuff. I don't know. I heard it's just as good. So
At festivals.
festival, yeah, all those festivals.
Good one. Okay, so my number 2 is one we've heard, and I said Joey should have had it much higher, is A Few Good Men.
Yeah,
Has to be,
great.
higher in your list.
Yeah. Okay. Number 1.
Number 1 movie.
Numero uno. Our favorite movie of all time. I think mine's a really good one.
Really, Joey?
Yeah, really, really. I'll stand behind it. The Dark Knight is my favorite movie of all time.
Christian Bale.
So that's the Christian Bale
Yep.
Batman.
Yep. So I think the Joker, Keith Ledger's Joker, is one of the greatest villains of all time. I don't think anyone would argue with that.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's really good. But I love some of the themes in it. I like how it's like a little darker. I don't know. And like just just seeing some of like what's going through their heads is just like so cool. Like the Joker, the Batman, and it's so good. I could watch that movie a lot.
I always think of the hospital scene where he blows up the hospital.
Yes.
It's like I think it's one of the most like I've watched some YouTube videos like the most iconic movie shots of all time, and that one's almost like always in there. Like the one because didn't he like do it and it didn't work at first?
Yes, that's why. So he was like acting the whole time, but it was supposed to go off when he pressed the button, and then it just didn't. But they actually blew up an actual building for that. So he like had to make it work.
They had one try for this shot.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it didn't work at first. So he just like looked at it and then it's like pressed it again and then it worked. But he acted all the way through it.
Yeah. But like also like at the end where like both groups don't blow up the boats, and then Batman's like there's still good in humanity. Not everyone's as messed up in you. So I'm like, that's Jesus in us.
It's a good Christian message.
It's another Christian movie.
Just like Cars.
I'm just a big fan of Christian movies. What can I say?
Yeah.
That's good, because I had a lot in my list that
It's a good balance.
didn't fit that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Remember, I wasn't
yes.
always a
Disclaimer.
Yep.
We watched the movie for the first time we watched a lot of movie at Josh's house. We watched this at Josh's house. You had seen it, obviously, Joey, but me and Josh had not, right? Josh, you hadn't seen it.
Nope, I hadn't.
So that was the first time we saw it, and I really liked it. It was super dark. One thing for me with seeing that is knowing what happened to Heath Ledger after it came out was like really disturbing. Seeing Heath Ledger act as Joker, just like knowing what happened afterwards. I don't know. That's what I thought.
I would say, yeah, that put kind of like a weird feeling in my stomach too when I was watching it. But also, if you know me in general, I just can't handle darker stuff. So I can appreciate like how good he was as Joker and like how good the movie was in general. Like I thought it was a super well-made movie, very good plot, very good acting, but just not my thing.
Yeah. I still really liked it though. I really liked Heath Ledger a lot. He's definitely best villain any superhero movie.
And it's like you can't even like compare him with like a villain like Thanos. Like when you see him on screen, like when he does the pencil thing, like it like you feel it like in your gut, like what's going on. It's like, whoa, this dude is scary.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to be in a room with Joker. I'll take Thanos any day in a room. I'll beat that guy out with my pinky finger.
Yeah, just like kind of the demented sociopathic side makes him a lot scarier.
Yeah.
Versus the big CGI purple man.
Yeah. And it's
with the CGI glove with the CGI stones that do CGI magic.
Yeah. It's just more real. Like it feels like that's something that there are people that are like that messed up.
Yep. Good number one, Joey.
Yep.
Good number one.
And there's the mafia in it.
Yeah. It's always a plus.
Gotta love organized crime, man.
My number one is Top Gun Maverick, which we already talked about. Yeah, I've already said why I love the movie. It's just really good. I love I love that they shot the planes from the inside. They were able to have that technology, which they were not able to do in the first ones.
Wait, I don't know about this. What do you mean?
So they all like the plane scenes where they're flying around and stuff. Anything that you see them inside the plane flying was actually them flying.
So all the people in the film like know how to fly?
Well, they
Yes.
No,
well,
see,
no. There was a pilot in it was a 2-seater
Yeah, okay.
plane.
Yeah.
And they just made it look like with the camera that it was.
there's a lot of people who believe that, like these actors were actually flying the
No.
planes. Or
They
there are
were-
some people.
But they were
Acting.
they were
No.
in the plane that
Yes,
was actually flying.
in the
They weren't
plane,
piloting it.
Correct.
Yes. In the first Top
Shoot.
Gun, Top Gun, they did not actually fly. I mean,
I feel like
the shots of the planes they did, but the
Yeah.
shots from inside the planes they did not. That was a green screen, I think.
No, I feel like they did fly in
Did
the
they?
planes. Yeah.
I thought they didn't until maybe it
I'm
was
pretty
just
sure they did. Yeah. Not to the extent that
yeah,
that Top Gun Maverick was.
and maybe it was just like getting the quality of footage that they got in the
Right.
newer ones, and they had like 4 cameras in each
Yeah.
of the planes, getting like different angles and like different zoom in lengths of them versus the first movie. I think it's just like one camera.
Right.
So
And what was crazy is the director didn't even know what he was going to get. He just sent them up there
Yep.
flying with all these cameras just going, and he couldn't see what shots were
Until they
happening
came back.
until they came back. Yeah.
it's like he looked at the shots and was like, go up again.
Yeah.
It's like this whole long process. It probably took forever.
Okay, so hold on, quick. So the actors in Maverick weren't actually flying the planes.
No,
No.
you can't just like take a few flying lessons and then get behind a fighter jet that is owned by the military.
That's true.
Yeah.
you know.
Shoot.
They had
See?
actual military.
This is why
So-
we need to bring him on
Yeah.
because he would bring me down
So
to
if you
reality.
dig in and do your research, because we did this, because I had to prove some people close to me wrong. that there's no way they're gonna allow actors
No.
to have the controls of these aircraft in the military.
See, and that's what I was confused by because I knew the actors did do training.
Right.
Yeah.
But you
they-
have to go through flight training because if you're flying in these planes, the amount of pressure and G's that you take, you have to get used to that. And
Yeah.
so yes, they flew in them, and it looks like they're flying, but they're not.
Okay.
Actually, they're not actually at the controls. No.
Well, whatever it was, knocked down it more. Now it's 7 for me.
yeah.
Just kidding.
they were
Yeah.
actually flying.
Tom Cruise is a pilot.
Yeah.
And he actually does fly at the end, whatever that old plane is.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
He flies that one.
Okay.
With his new girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right.
Another love story in Top Gun Maverick.
Joey,
Yep.
was it as cringy as the one from the first one?
No.
It was definitely not as cringy.
No. Well, do you know that she's referenced in the first movie?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Who is
Penny Benjamin,
Yeah. So it's like a
the admiral's daughter.
yes, the admiral's daughter. Like
Oh,
when
from
they're
the
getting
original
shoot out, yeah, the guy's like in one high speed passover with an admiral's daughter.
Yeah.
And then Goose turns and says Penny, what's her last name?
Benjamin.
Benjamin. And then in the new movie it's Penny Benjamin.
And Tom's like, she's the one
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was
in
very-
35 years.
That was creative.
Yep.
All right.
Who's up? Josh?
I'm up. My number one is Return of the King, which is a third Lord of the Rings movie.
So good.
Wow.
That exact one was in my honorable mentions. Definitely
Nice.
definitely the best Lord of the Rings movie. Why do you like Return of the King, Josh? Why is it your number one?
I just think it's very epic in like the more majestic sense of that word.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the music, the huge battle scenes, and you need to watch the first two to know how it builds up to that point. But it's just a very good climax to the whole story. Everything kind of ends up the way it should. And yeah, I don't know, just a very wholesome, like feel good ending to a really good series. and well made.
Okay, question for you.
Yeah.
You're sitting down to watch Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Yeah.
Extended version or no?
Aren't they already like 3 hours long?
Yes.
Probably no.
No, you're not watching the extended version? Because that is the way to watch them.
Okay. Fair.
Let me pull up how long these extended version is.
Wait, Mike, what is the extended version?
It's basically just a bunch of more scenes they had to cut because of theatrical release, but it is a lot longer. The original cut is a lot longer. So the theatrical release, no, the extended cut of Return of the King is 3 hours and 30 minutes. No, I think that's the original one. No, yeah, it's 3.5 hours.
Wow.
Yep,
That's a long movie.
that is a long movie.
Okay, here we go.
All right. I'm hoping that this redeems me in some way. Can you guess what my number one movie is? Saying that?
I don't want to guess.
Yeah.
I had a guess
Yeah.
for what it was, but now I forgot what it was. So I don't know.
I feel like I'll know him as soon as you say it.
Yeah. You probably won't. And I had to do this because, well, you'll just know.
Oh, Passion of the Christ.
The Passion of the Christ.
Oh, really?
Nice. You got it, Josh.
Good work, Josh.
Yeah.
I've not seen it, which I know I need to.
That is incredible. Yeah.
My mom has been saying this for years. I need to watch it.
Yeah. Jim Caviezel as Jesus was like unbelievable. And I know there's a lot of stuff, surrounding Mel Gibson and things like that in his life. But that movie is like, this movie came out just like a year or two maybe after I became a Christian. And honestly, when we went to the theater, it was around Easter time when he released it. I've never been changed more by like a movie than after seeing this, because it is like, watching what he went through, and as a Christian, growing up, or you have this kind of like, I don't know, idea of what you hear about as a kid, like Jesus died and he rose again. And you didn't really get the whole like brutality of what it looked like. And like going from, just basically giving my life to Christ to then seeing that movie shortly thereafter. I will never forget driving home afterwards, and I saw it with Amy, and we both were just like, it was just like silence. It was like silence. After the movie ended, it was like silence in the car, and it's like, and then I think Amy was the first to say it, and she just said, I just never really, I guess, got it. Like what he went through for us. And so, yeah, Micah, you have to see it. You need to see like literally the rated R version of it to get the true picture of what, he went through for all of us. Like, and the fact that Jim Caviezel did not get like an Academy Award even nomination, there's a lot of political stuff that goes on in Hollywood, and there's a lot of, things surrounding movies and things like that. So there's a reason why he, probably didn't get nominated, and it's not for the performance. I'll just say that, like, without getting too political about it. That movie was, it is incredible. It will change your life. If you have not seen it, you have to see it. Again, it is rated R, so, for parents out there, but it's mostly just because of the brutality. Have you guys seen it? Josh, have you seen it?
I have not.
So none of you guys have seen it. I definitely think you're at an age where you can handle it. I think it really will it really will change your view of Jesus and what he went through, you know, and to see that's acting, like he's playing a character, you know what I mean? Yes, a real life historical figure, you know, but nobody wanted to touch that movie. Mel Gibson couldn't get anybody to put up money for it, any production company. I mean, you know, Hollywood would not want to see that movie made. And so he put up his own money to make the movie. He made it on a budget that was way below what you see, what like that finished product. So, yeah, that might be it needs to be number one. It probably needs to be your number ones too.
Nice.
We'll need to
After
see
we
it
see it,
first.
yes.
But yeah,
You'll see it. But
good way
yeah,
to cap
an
it off.
Yeah, that's a good
unbelievable
way to like
performance.
bring it all the way around from like planes to Jesus. I liked it.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of movies that we've talked about, and obviously in my list that are questionable for sure. So but that's what, you know, that's why we have Jesus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I got
I think we should each like run over our list real quick.
honorable mentions.
Oh yeah.
List
Oh.
plus. Well,
You already
we'll
got
just-
my 60.
Yeah, we
Some.
got yours.
Yeah, I wrote down a few extra ones. I wrote down a few from this, so I won't mention those. The Lion King, Aladdin, How to Train Your Dragon, Dune, Into the Spider-Verse, Sandlot, Ice Age, American Sniper, Rogue One, and Ready Player One were all other movies in no order, but I also thought of when I was making my top 10 list.
Sandlot, you said that one too.
It was in my
another
long
one
list.
that's a really good movie. That one's super fun.
American Sniper I thought about many times, so I don't know why I don't think it was in that list, but it would have been. That's a great movie.
Yep, and I recently watched that like 2 months ago or something. I really
Have
liked.
you seen 13 Hours?
No.
Okay.
Who's in that movie? Is that
Honestly, a lot of the actors are not like
okay?
known. So,
Okay.
but it's the story about Benghazi, I believe, when they took over I don't know if it was an embassy or something in Benghazi. It's like the true story of the military, you know, elite that were left behind that kind of were defending it and protecting our Americans. And it's intense. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'll have to give that
It's
one.
very much like American Sniper.
Yeah, I'll have to give that one a watch too. So many movies.
I know, so many on the list. My honorable mentions: The Truman Show, Forrest Gump. This is also another one that's like
Good.
usually
Yeah.
in like the top 5, top 10 movies of all time
Right.
ever made list. Great movie. How to Train Your Dragon. Josh talked about that one.
It made Josh's list.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, which we talked about. Pirates of the Caribbean. Really, the first 3 are all really good. I really like Dead Man's Chest, which is the one with Davy Jones. That one's really good. A Quiet Place, both part 1 and part 2.
We talk about that.
We talk about that one a lot. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Joey said that one. The original Jumanji is always been one of my favorites. Men in Black, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Harry Potter series. Specifically,
Nice.
I really like the 4th one of that. So that is my honorable mentions list.
No Star Wars.
Yeah, no Star. Well, I had Rogue One on honorable mentions,
Oh, you did.
but that's not even like legit
Yeah.
Star
Yeah.
Wars.
I like the Star Wars movies, but I've never been like a huge like being into Star Wars guy. So, but I do like them. The
I
original.
have very few honorable mentions, but I have The Greatest Showman, Tangled, Up, and all 3 High School Musicals.
nice.
Yes.
See?
Good movies.
Yep.
Honestly,
Some of mine.
Boys Night, and we just watch High School Musical
and Greatest Showman.
and Greatest Showman.
I am very down.
Honestly, I forgot about Greatest Showman. That's probably I would put that in my top 10.
Nice.
Now
Oh,
that
really?
Yeah.
now that I'm reminded of it,
Yeah.
so good. I've watched that one so many times. So I don't know where in the list it would go, but definitely would boot out one of the other ones.
Maybe Cars.
Maybe, yeah, might put it number 10.
Wrap this one up.
All right,
Wrap it up.
Oh, who wants to
Oh.
wrap it up? You wrap it up, Mike.
I wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is our top 10 movies. I want to thank you guys for coming on. How was your time on the podcast? Was it all you expected?
Yeah, it was super fun. Now I just like when I got into acting, I want to do this again.
Yeah. Well, you've talked about how you and a couple of guys at work at Letterman want to.
Yeah, we think the Letty is Life podcast. It's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah. We'll just set up a podcast studio in your store.
I think it would be good. I think people would, listen to that.
Yeah. Well, knowing who you three guys are, I think it'd be very entertaining.
Right. We'll listen to it.
We talk a lot of sports, a lot of hockey, and it's not something it's kind of funny because they know so much more in depth about like players and organizations and they're huge Minnesota rubes, so they Vikings, Wild, all the Gophers, and I just kind of mess with them because I don't really know. I don't know it as well, but I watch enough of it to be able to interject things.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. Do you wanna send us off? We always have the guests give a little goodbye to the fans. So you say like, thanks for listening to the 245 podcast. We'll see you guys later.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening to the 245 podcast. This is the special guest, Eric Schumacher. And we're signing off. I hope you enjoyed it.
Hope you all have a great day.
Catch you on the flippity flip.
Peace out, gangsta.